There is much at stake in the race for state representative in Pennsylvania's 40th district. Will there be more of the same, or will we have bold new thinking that challenges the way things work in Harrisburg? Will Republicans finally act like they are the majority party and preserve the last hope for freedom, faith, and family? Will residents of Bethel Park, Upper St. Clair, and Peters Township finally have a fighter that will listen to them and take the tough positions that career politicians shun? Let's look at the record of incumbent Representative Natalie Mihalik. Much to the delight of Tom Wolf and John Fetterman, Ms. Mihalik voted for Act 77. Act 77 allows no excuse mail-in voting. It opened the door for ballot harvesting and for voter fraud in the 2020 election. She states that this well-written piece of legislation was hijacked by the governor. But anyone who claims that the damaging impact of Act 77 was unforeseeable is either irresponsible or dishonest. In fact, the courts ruled that Act 77 was in violation of the Pennsylvania Constitution. It's clear, mail-in voting is not permissible in accordance with Article 7, Section 1. Conversely, Section 14 is clear-cut regarding the permissible conditions of absentee voting. Steve Renz saw the flaws in Act 77 from day one and knows that if free and fair elections are not defended, nothing else matters. And what about the 2-year nightmare that many parents endured in public schools, as the state required masks on all school-aged children for up to 8 hours a day? Steve Renz stood alongside parents at school board meetings, fighting unscientific mandates, pushing back against woke ideologies, and standing up for moms and dads that were being labeled as domestic terrorists by their own government. Mask mandates were also ruled unconstitutional, but not because of any help from Ms. Mihalik. When the issue was thrown into the laps of local school boards, Ms. Mihalik initially agreed to act, but then retreated to say that it is simply not her job to get involved in such community matters. Unlike some of her colleagues, she argued that masks are a local issue. Sound like a career politician? It is safe to assume that we cannot count on Natalie as the wave of extreme wokeism worms its way into our public schools. So while Upper St. Clair and Peters Township parents objected to mask mandates that remained in place well after the state requirement, Natalie was privately working with Bethel Park parents to end their mandate. You heard that correctly. While she stated that the mandate was a local issue and she can't be bothered with local matters, she got directly involved in helping anti-mask Bethel Park school board members get elected. Though asked, she refused to do the same for Peters Township. Again, sounds like the behavior of a career politician. Ms. Mihalik proudly states that she is pro-life. The recent barbaric experimentation on aborted fetuses at the University of Pittsburgh, where Ms. Mihalik serves alongside Tom Wolf as a trustee, is shocking to most voters, even the most ardent pro-choice advocates. These experiments, such as grafting fetal scalps onto rodents, should demand a fervent objection from an avowed pro-lifer like Ms. Mihalik, as it did 100 members of Congress in a letter to President Biden. But in a recent article in The Federalist, Ms. Mihalik is said to be, quote, missing in action. The article went on to say that her silence is deafening. In typical career politician fashion, she also overlooked a potential conflict of interest when Pitt hired a friendly law firm for the investigation. And why was Mihalik chosen to announce the dubious investigation? Again, citing The Federalist, quote, this likely wasn't an accident, as she's also a trustee and could help paint a picture of bipartisanship that would benefit both her and the university, end quote. The article goes on to say, quote, presenting yourself as a warrior against scandal may have its benefits, but it also carries responsibilities that Ms. Mihalik seems to be neglecting, end quote. The 40th District needs a true pro-life candidate that will stand up for the unborn. A true defender of the unborn could not be in leadership at an organization that carries out such barbaric experimentation. And while Pitt calls the subjects of this research humanized rodents, Mihalik voted for HB 118 that calls these victims an unborn child. Sounds like typical doublespeak from a Harrisburg career politician. Candidate Steve Renz is unashamed, unabashed, and unapologetically pro-life. With Steve, there will be no mincing of words to ensure future political aspirations are preserved. Steve is one of us. He is a patriot, and he has lived the American dream. Steve has no political ambitions beyond representing the wonderful voters of the 40th District, and he will say it the way it is. Make no mistake, we cannot continue with the current path of eroding rights, schools that are becoming centers of indoctrination, politicians that put their own interest first, and Harrisburg elites that won't stand up for free and fair elections. On May 17th, vote for a fighter. Vote for someone that will listen. Vote for a true conservative. Vote for Steve Renz, state representative in the 40th District.